Hello, hello. This is just a little sound test to see if you can hear and you can test your system. So, I guess if you're not hearing me, well, then obviously it's silly for me to say if you can't hear me, test your speakers. But maybe for those of you who can hear, can just let me and my amazing support fairies, Sibongile and Di, know that you can hear. And yeah, if you're seeing the screen and you can't hear me, then reboot, reconnect, and just know that Diane Sibogile are here to also support you. And we're going to be getting started real soon. Yay, Sheila, Galen, you can hear Kate, Angela, Kevin. Oh, this is so awesome seeing all of you. And I am so looking forward to a really awesome evening tonight. I can't wait to get stuck in. Hey, Jackie, you can hear Eric. How cool is that? Isn't that the wonders of modern technology all the way to Finland? This is just brilliant. So yeah, we're going to be getting started in literally a minute. So if you need to get last minute water, switch off things, we can get rocking and rolling. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I see a lot of you are still connecting into tonight's Wealth Share free masterclass on how to break through some of the biggest belief barriers that I have found are blocking so many people from achieving their financial freedom. And I am super excited to be with you tonight. I've been working through some of the stuff I want to share on the webinar today, and I've just been dying to get going. So it is so cool to be with you all. And so, yeah, just let's meet. Those of you who don't know me yet, I would love to know why being financially free is so important to you. I'd love if you found that chat box, let's use it. Some of you already introduced yourself, said where you're from, but let me know, why are you here? Why is creating your own financial freedom so important to you? And while you're typing that in, let me just share a little bit about me. So many of you already know me. Some of you will be meeting me for the first time. So my name's Anne Wilson. I'm an author of the book, The Wealth Chef. I really consider myself a financial empowerment activist, really helping people break free from these chains and worry and anxiety about money stuff. I'm a trainer and a speaker. I'm an explorer of life. I love being curious about everything life has to offer. And I think importantly for this session, I am financially free. And so I think, let me do this so you can actually see, woohoo, I'm actually here. Yeah, these are my new specs. I've reached that stage that I have to accept my arms aren't quite long enough. So there we go. So this is me. And so now it's your turn. Great. A lot of you are connecting in. Anthea, freedom means you're not having to worry about making ends meet. Absolutely. Dirk, to create time to enjoy life. Dirk, you've hit the nail on the head. We're going to be covering that a lot in this session. Mika from Nigeria, so great to have you. Kate from London, had a nasty accident, not able to contribute the way I long to. Wow, Kate, and absolutely. And so looking at how money is input into these different things. She's purpose. Yeah, loving the new look, the specs look. So, yeah, doing this. And now I'd love to ask another question. Maybe for those of you who haven't met me before. So I've told you a little bit of what I am, but what I'm not. So let me be really clear on what I'm not. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a maths whiz. I'm not some financial planner. What I am is a really everyday person like you who has managed to, through trial and error, master this money stuff. And I'm just really passionate about sharing it with you. And, I think that's great news, because I think so often we can have a belief that it's only if you've studied finance or if you've got a certain career choice, then that means you can be good with money. But actually, I've found that a lot of those people are pretty damn awful with their own money stuff. So that's the good news, that I started where you are, and actually maybe for a lot of you perhaps in a significantly worse financial state, many, and I just discovered these strategies, and they really are super easy. But one of the key areas was really tackling beliefs, and so that's why we're going to be going deep into it. So what I would love to know, and thank you for introducing it, right? I'm 64 years and want loads of money to travel around the world. Absolutely. Melody, you want peace of mind, more time to spend with loved ones. So let me go back to the slides because I've got a question for you. How would you describe your current financial reality? Now, you don't need to put in there how much you earn or any of that. What I'm really asking is, how do you feel about your current financial situation? Do you feel it enables you to do what you want to do? How do you feel about money, about managing money, about working for it, about your confidence with investing and growing it? What do you feel? What comes up for you as a primary emotion when you start thinking about your financial situation? I'd love to know that. Won't you just type in, going through. So Barbara said, medical debt is holding me back to retiring. Great. So Shiprin says, I want to own my time and help others do that. So when you think about your current financial reality, it feels limiting. I have to work too much overtime in order just to afford to live. Yeah, great. Okay. Very little confidence to invest, says Carmen. Scared of losing my savings. Actually, Sue says, just feel really awful. Yeah, that's just so interesting. And I'm not surprised because so often for so many of us, money and thinking about our finances right now can really trigger some challenges. And so now I would love you to just step forward into your future a bit. And how do you feel about your financial future? Barbara, you've already mentioned challenge about believing that you can't retire. Or, what do you feel about commitments you might have in the future and things that you want to do that might cost some money? Recently I did a Facebook Live and a lovely Nikki shared that, she really wants to be able to get married and have kids and not have to work. So what is that for you? How do you feel about that financial future? Wow, this is on Korean. The future's looking bright now that I'm learning to become financially free. Absolutely. Starting to invest in stocks and moving on real estate. Oh, I know. So great to have you here, Korean. Debbie, it feels depressing. I feel like I can't overcome my barriers of finding financial freedom. Well, you're in the right place, Debbie. Monique, I want to up my skills. Absolutely. Peace, working towards time and freedom. Valerie says it feels depressing. Melia says, I don't feel like I have enough funds to be able to raise my family. I'm really concerned about that. Scary, frightened of running out of money. Absolutely. And, one of the big challenges is when we go into fear and contraction, it's really difficult to make empowered financial decisions. It's really difficult to really know which are the right steps to going forward. So I just so want to thank you and honor you for sharing so openly, because this is really such a key. And we all know money is important. You wouldn't be on this webinar if ensuring your financial security and well-being wasn't really important to you. And so to start off, I really want to honor you. I really want to honor you for being part of this tiny minority of people who choose to take responsibility for their own well-being and actually take action and prepare to invest their time and energy into doing that. And secondly, I'd love to just suggest and see if you can try this on, even if it's just for this webinar. Instead of feeling, heavy about this and going, oh my God, I've got to sort out this money stuff because it feels fearful. I'm worried about my future or my family, or am I going to be able to retire? Which is all they're very real emotions, and I want to honor them. But I want us to just try it out and see how this feels, instead of doing a lot of I've got to do this or I should do this, because that's just a lot of shooting on ourselves, and there's so much in our lives where we just should all over the place. I want you to imagine and just try on, can you think about how by being here on this webinar and by the actions that you are taking, you are already creating a really compelling, juicy future with more than enough money flowing into your life to support you. Just see how that feels. You're really giving yourself credit for really what you're doing and allowing that to expand and doing more of that. And as you already see, we've got to be real. Money is important because time is tight. That's the hard truth. Money, absolutely isn't everything. But having extra money allows you to buy time. Perhaps you've heard the phrase, time is money. It's because at the end of the day, that is exactly what we are after. Many of you have already said that in the chat. That actually what we're seeking is having more time, having that extra time and having money flowing in without constantly having to exchange your life force for money, constantly having to work for the money, so that you can be free to use your time how you want to. Time to have with your family, time to travel and experience some of the incredible wonders and sights and adventures that this amazing world has to offer us. Time to spend on causes and charities and contribution, Kate, as you mentioned, that really give our lives meaning and purpose. Time to just be you instead of always being on the go, doing all the time. Where we get into trouble is we wake up on this conveyor belt of time. I get it, you're busy. On this conveyor belt, we imagine that there are these boxes and your job is to fill as many as you can so that at the end of the day and at night, you can lie in your bed and say, oh, that was a good day. Look at all that doing that I did, and that list of things I managed to tick off and clear out the way. Your day might look something like this. Your alarm goes off and you reach for that phone to switch it off, but you first hit the snooze once, twice, maybe even 3 times. But eventually, you've got to start that day. And you know that you're meant to meditate first, but you just can't help taking a sneak of Facebook or your emails, and you see a message from some idiot who's messed something up, and before you know it, your blood pressure's already rising. And you get up and you get showered and you get dressed, and then you quickly make a shake because there isn't enough time to make breakfast, and off you dash into the traffic, and then there's jams and lights are out, or there's big holes in the road, or the train gets stuck. And then you finally get to work and there's emails and calls and meetings and more traffic. Now at the end of the day, you go, okay, that work part's being sort of handled. Now we've got to get onto the body, off to the gym. It's Pilates or yoga. And as you're sitting there, getting into your 5th chakra, you quickly take a sneak at that phone because there's just one more important message that's meant to come in. The guys are trying to get bigger and the women are trying to get smaller, and they're getting bigger and smaller and bigger and smaller. And then you get out of there and you dash past the grocery store trying to remember if this week it's gluten-free, or you're banting, or is it the paleo diet, or are you carving? You grab whatever it is, you dash in the door and you hug the dogs and you pat the kids. You're not even sure whether the spouse is even there. Whew. You manage to get some food into the kids, get them to bed, get them bathed. Whew. You've got a moment to yourself. You change your clothes and you flop in front of the TV. Last season's Game of Thrones. Yes, you know it's last season's, but you've only now getting to catch up. Life's so busy. And at least you're not having a day like Jon Snow is. But how cool are those dragons? Imagine how much you could get done if you had them on your side. Finally, in a TV-induced coma, you drag yourself to bed. You try to read a few books on spirituality and slowing down and being at flow and ease. But you check that phone just one last time and your eye gets caught by some tragedy in the world going on. Maybe it's Aleppo, something environmental disaster. You can't believe what's going on with the politicians. And just as you've been going peacefully, ending the day, everything's triggered again, and you finally go to sleep in a really tossy and turny kind of sleep. And that was a good day for a Sunday. And we might laugh at this, but in fact, for many of us, that it's so easy to get caught up on this conveyor belt of time. And, in all of that, where the hell are you meant to squeeze in the time to master your money stuff, to get this investing done, to, find out what insurances you should or shouldn't have, or even know how to manage this or make it in a way that really ensures that your well-being is sorted now and in the future? It's no wonder you get stressed by it, feel worried and anxious, because you're just so busy. And sometimes we can wear our busyness like a badge, competing about who gets the least sleep. We'll go, I'm crazy busy. Oh, I'd love to do that, but I can't. I'm just too busy. My day's hectic. I've got to run. I've got to work. We're running. We're working. It's hectic. It's crazy. When what we're actually meant to be doing is living. Because the truth is, it's the moments of time is what life is made up of. And money buys you more of those moments. And that is why you're here. Money gives you more choices on how to spend that precious time, choices as to what to do with it, who to spend it with, and what you spend it on. How you spend your time determines whether you feel you have lived and are living a wealthy, juicy life worthy of your precious, precious life force. Having freedom from financial worries and extra money to free you up so that you can spend that time expansively is why you've chosen to be on this webinar today. Unfortunately, for many people, when they're just getting by to make ends meet, and even if there is just that little extra to put aside, or maybe to start bringing down debt, it still doesn't feel like it's really going to give you that freedom that you need to create and live the life of your dreams. And the real bugger is that conveyor belt of busyness, doing to just get by, is the space that many of you right here are finding yourself in when you decide to create your own financial well-being and take responsibility for it. But it's just not the now that you are choosing to sort out, it's your future too. I don't know what age you are right now, but whatever age you are, I'm sure you're also thinking about your retirement, about ensuring that you're able to stop working one day, and when you do, wondering how long you're going to live for and how much you need to put aside so that you can live to the end of your days in comfort and safety with all of your needs being taken care of, knowing that you're not going to have to compromise on your lifestyle or your care, and that you'll never be a financial burden to others. So it's no wonder the thoughts of dealing with the important stuff is overwhelming. So what's the solution? The solution is to get support. Realize that you don't need to do this alone, and let it be easier than it feels now. Just hold that possibility that it can be easier. Consciously stop and ask, how much time, energy, and resources do I give to the important stuff in my life? How much time do I give to the important things that actually take me closer to living that full, abundant life? And how much of that time and energy and my money is consumed by that conveyor belt of busyness? I really acknowledge and congratulate you, because today you chose the important. Today you chose you. You chose to stop that conveyor belt. By being on this webinar, you are giving your time and energy to mastering your money stuff. So again, I so honor you, because so many people say that they want to achieve this in their life, but they don't show up. But you're one of the few that actually commits, and that puts you in the small percentage of achievers and separates you from the wannabes. And that is the action that actually creates freedom. And that is why your probability of creating a financial freedom is like a bazillion times more for those who just sit and whinge and always just say, damn, I'm just too busy. Because here's the thing. Freedom is a journey. It's not a destination. And I don't know where you are in your wealth journey right now. Perhaps you're just starting out to feel overwhelmed and nervous at the thought of investing with no idea where to begin. Perhaps you've already started, but when you try and figure it all out, you've got more incomprehensible jargon thrown at you. Or worse, another broker or financial advisor trying to sell you another product designed to make them rich. And perhaps you're just frightened of getting it wrong and messing this up. But maybe you have some investments, but you have outsourced your freedom. Or maybe you've tried a bunch of these wealth quick fixes only to end up back where you started. Maybe you're just tired of stressing about your financial future, worrying about debts or having enough money to educate your kids or be able to stop working one day, or maybe just to have a great holiday. Wherever you are right now, just hang in there, because I've got you covered. But before you go any further, I want to be really clear about something. This is not a get rich quick. You've probably heard stories about people making loads of money, trading in forex or commodities, or creating this, one ebook that they put online, and then they go and sip the margaritas, or you do this scheme of buying and selling. And I really want to, just say to you, if that's what you're looking for from this session, this isn't it. There are plenty what I call snake oil salesmen, slimy schemes designed to use fear and greed and desperation to separate you from your money. Now, I could name some of them. There's plenty of them, I'm sure, pop up in your Facebook and social media feed. But what I'm about to share and what I teach is not some get-rich-quick scheme. I'm not going to talk to you about some fancy new system I've discovered or how you're going to turn these millions into overnight. No. What I am going to be sharing with you is how to ensure that you no longer wake up in the early hours of the morning worrying about paying those bills, worrying about your financial future, worrying about your kids' education, worrying about if there's going to be enough. And if that's what you're looking for, then this is for you. What I'm about teaching you is about creating real, sustainable wealth that serves you for life over and over and over. I'm about helping you get that peace of mind and that certainty that your financial well-being is taken care of so that you can sleep better at night, so you can get out there and do the things you want to do, so you can spend some money guilt-free and really enjoy life now whilst you know your future is also taken care of. You know, if you want to increase your financial capacity to do more of the things that you love and make a difference in the world, then you're in the right place. And if you really care about this world, about this environment and our humanity, and you want to empower yourself and others so that the impact you can make by having more money, by having more time, by having more energy freed up, so that you can have that power behind you to make this difference, then this whole thing is absolutely for you. And I'm really thrilled you're here. And with time being such a premium as it is vital that you find ways to make this money stuff easy to do. If you've been with me a while, you know that I'm all about automation, automating as much as possible and creating wealthy habits that just get systemized to become your way of being. Because this is not about adding another job into your already busy conveyor belt of a life. That is exactly why you choose to do whatever it takes to get a solid foundation in place once, and do it properly so it can serve you for life. Not so often this quick fixes that then constantly you have to go back to them because there isn't sustainability. And then once you've got that in place, you put in place your investment and your asset creation, and you do so on autopilot. So you have that extra money and that freedom from worry so that you can get off that conveyor belt more and more and more and free up that time to live that life that you really deserve now. So right now, I'd love for you to consider something that may make you feel a little uncomfortable for a bit, but this is really important. If you're prepared to just play along and do this for a few moments, I know it's going to be exceptionally revealing and incredibly worth your while. So I want you to imagine for a moment the amount of money that you earned in the last 12 months. Get that number in your head. Don't worry, you don't have to get it down to the last pence or euro or cent. Just get that into your head. How much did you earn in the last 12 months? Now, I want you to imagine, what if you could make that same amount of income you made in 12 months in just 6 months? How does that feel? Share with me in the chat box. How does that make you feel if you imagine that, if you consider 12 months of income earned in just 6 months? Cool. Now, what if I told you could make that all in just 1 month? That you could make that 12 months of income in just 1 month? What does that feel like now? Are we almost there? There's one last stretch that I really want you to go on this journey with. Please consider this idea now. What if I told you that you could have that 12 months of income earned for you by assets in just 1 month, and you didn't have to be involved in any of that money making? Please share with me what's coming up for you. How does that feel? What is that really consider? Yeah, we're going, wow, awesome thought, great. Okay, I really want you to feel that as you're typing in. And now also just feel, it'll be everything I dreamed of. Okay, no way. Yeah, mind-boggling. Now, there may be a part of your brain saying something along the lines, either, it can't be done. Really? No, that's not possible. Legally, I've tried but I've failed. Lotto 1 seems too good to be true. Yeah, so it can't be done. Or possibly it's saying, well, I think it could be done, but I couldn't do it. So this is really important. Whilst we hear something that sounds amazing, often notice what's some of the background conversation going on in our brain, because this is so revealing. This is actually our unconscious starting to reveal to us some of our deep unconscious beliefs about what is possible. Great, I love this. How? I would love it. Really, are you serious? It would be so amazing. So firstly, just feeling and noticing if there is any of that background sort of dialogue going on. I want you to just see if you can discern whether that dialogue is saying, firstly, and I'd love you just to consider this, do you believe that that is possible, as in the concept? Is it possible that all of the money you earned in the last 12 months could be earned for you by assets in just 1 month? So effectively, if you chose, you could have 12 times what you earned in the previous year earned for you by assets. Can you sit with the possibility that you believe that that could be true? Sort of just see what comes up for you. Now, I want you to consider, cool, Eric says absolutely yes, anything is possible. Yes, it is. Okay, brilliant. So now, do you believe that it is possible for you? Because these are two very different things. Because sometimes we can believe something is possible, but not necessarily that it's possible for the likes of us. And again, this becomes another whole, level of beliefs, because, we can believe that maybe it's possible for other people, but not necessarily for us, because of maybe what we've been told about, people like us can't do that, or only greedy people could do that, or only nasty people, and all sorts of stuff sort of comes up. Great, Katrina said, I finally do believe it's possible for me. Charlotte saying, yeah, I don't believe it's possible for me at the moment. Charlotte, thanks so much for sitting with that, because this is the hallelujah. This is what's so great. What you've just done, because you're prepared to just trust and play along, is you've, released and shown a barrier, a belief. And so this is what's so fantastic, knowing that we can start revealing and working with that belief, because when they're deeply suppressed, often we don't even know that it's those very beliefs that are holding us back. So thank you for letting me know this, and know that whatever is coming up for you is absolutely, totally normal. Please, this is so important to know. It really is normal for us to have these deep-seated doubts and these barriers, because once we now come up, then, as I say, we can start doing something about it. But I also want you to know, what I know for certain to be true is that it is absolutely possible for you to earn your past 12 months income in 6 months. And when you get serious and upgrade your knowledge and skills, you can have your past 12 months of earning flow into your life all in 1 month, and all earned for you by assets which you control, whilst you're freed up to spend your time on living. Most people don't have what they're capable of having. They have what they believe they can have, and what they have been taught that they are capable of having. The thing that has prevented you from having all that you can have, including this financial abundance and time freedom, is your belief about the possibility of this for you. Look back at the thought and emotions that came back up for you when I asked you those questions. This is vital, vital information, because your subconscious has just revealed to you some of your biggest barriers. So now you know that you having all you want, having financial security, peace of mind, financial freedom, is not about your capability, but about busting through this belief that has prevented you in the past from believing that it is possible for you. And that belief has stopped you taking the action to then actually make it happen. There's this wonderful phrase that says, let me just get that slide up. You miss 100% of the shots you never take. I love this, because this is so true. And this is the real insidious part of these disempowering beliefs, because these beliefs actually stop us even trying. They stop us even taking the shot. And so in effect, they become self-fulfilling prophecies, and then they just keep feeding on themselves. We're spending all this time on beliefs today on this masterclass, because I can teach you all of the autopilot investing strategies. I can show you how you can make managing your money straightforward and simple and fun. I can teach you about leverage and how to significantly increase your returns on your investments so that you can get to your freedom even faster. But if you don't believe you can have this, then you won't take action. you won't implement the things I share with you, and you'll never get off that damn conveyor belt of busyness that is currently consuming your life force, second by second. So let's bust through these barriers to your freedom right now so you can move forward and live the life that you really want. You know, having successfully helped thousands of people create their own financial freedom, I've seen 3 big barriers that come up over and over again. So we're going to address these in this masterclass. And over the next, hour, following on from where we are now, I'm going to be sharing with you and busting out through these barriers. The first one being no spare money, that there's no spare money to start investing to create these assets. The second big belief and barrier is that there's no spare time. And there's a subset of that little barrier that it's too late for me, that there's no time in the bigger scheme as well, not just in the day-to-day. And also that there's no support, that your spouse, your partner, your friends, your family, your siblings, your parents, maybe your community isn't on board or aligned to you. And so this is a real challenge. I'm also going to share with you how you can take this deeper. Now, we've only got a limited amount of time today, so I'm going to share with you how you can continue this journey if that feels the right next step for you. And I'm also going to be opening up the lines for Q&A. So as you're typing that questions down, Sibongile are catching that, and we're going to open Q&A, and I'll be answering your questions at the end. So stay on. We've got a lot to cover. And I'm also going to be giving away some awesome prizes. We're going to be giving away an Apple Watch and an iPad. So stay tuned because there's a lot of juicy stuff to cover. So let's get barrier busting. Let's deal with this first barrier, that there's no spare money. Now, I really get this barrier because I had no extra money when I started out. In fact, I went backwards. I went to zero to this big, ugly minus because despite supposedly being educated, I was completely financially illiterate. We just aren't taught this stuff. So if you've read my story in the Wealth Chef book or in the video series, you'll know that I managed to get myself into substantial debt. But after learning how to free myself from debt, the journey wasn't straightforward either. I then swung to a different kind of financial prison. It was very much a prison of fear. It was a fear about losing the money I was now making and saving, fear about making mistakes, and fear about getting it wrong. I was starting to learn about this world of assets and knew about it, but I was really afraid that I'd left it too late, that I didn't know enough, and that maybe I just wasn't good with this money stuff. I was fear about being irresponsible. Somehow my past and going into debt, still hung around me, that I couldn't actually be trusted with my money stuff. And so this really kept me paralyzed and in a real, in another kind of financial prison. So it just ended up keeping me stuck and in fact taking me back to zero, because with all of this fear and indecision and no action, driven by these beliefs about myself and my life and about my ability, ended up me losing my marriage and all the money that I'd been clinging onto at that time. It was these fears and that belief that I needed money to make money, and these other things were really what stopped me moving towards my freedom. So I really can feel that if this is one of the barriers for you and a belief. And I just want to let you know that I'm so grateful that I discovered that actually it was just a crappy belief. It wasn't a real barrier. There wasn't a real prison. It was a prison inside my own head. And the great thing about when we know that, we bring light to it and we shine light on it, we can go, oh, and we can have the discussions like we're having here. We realize, okay, this is a belief I can actually start dissolving by just finding evidence to the contrary through knowledge and education, skills and support, and then it can dissolve away and you can move forward. And that's exactly what I was able to do, which then helped me create that financial freedom. And so really the key thing here is realizing that actually creating financial freedom and really being wealthy has very little to do with actually money. Of course, there's money involved, but it's about a learned skill. And I love this quote, those at the top of the mountain didn't fall there. It's a journey. It's a step-by-step journey. And being great with money is an absolute learned skill, which is so exciting. It's a skill that can be learned. And then it's about taking consistent steps, not about having big chunks of money to throw at it. When I really realized this, and that it wasn't about having big chunks of money that I didn't have anyway, but about knowledge and skills and learning how to create these assets that could earn money for me. This is when I discovered that you can create and control assets with no money down at all. You can have assets with no money. And I discovered that actually creating asset-generated income is just a skill set and another thing to learn, like cooking, which is why I use so many of those analogies. And I realized that nobody pops out of the womb a financial genius, and that really helped me to go, okay, I might not know how yet, but I can learn, and all I need to do is just learn the next step and the next step and the next step, and that is what will get me there, even if it feels scary. And this is exactly how I created my own financial freedom, by understanding this, discovering what money really is, how it works, how to get it working for me. And most importantly, I realized that my wealthy life is created by these baby steps consistently taken, together with small freedom seeds that need to be consistently planted. And I use that word small seed because these are small seeds of money that actually create great mountains of wealth. This is really important to really start grappling and understanding, because taking these steps and learning these skills together with creating a great relationship with money, I was able to not only grow my wealth pots to a size where I could choose to stop working for money if I so chose, and I did it in just 8 years because my money was now earning me more money than I needed to live the lifestyle that I wanted, and that is freedom. But most importantly, I did it in a way that let me live my life to the full while I created it. And I really do live a rich, juicy life that I'm so grateful for, full of adventure and travel and friendship and community. And I did this same thing. I lived this whilst creating the freedom. It's so important that you don't wait to start being free. Choose freedom now whilst you're creating that financial wealth to support you. So there are actually two sub-beliefs that contribute to this crappy belief that you need loads of money to make money and that you don't have anything spare to get started. So let's address these two first. I just flick through some of the cool things that I get to play with in my life and the contribution. And this first biggest barrier, I believe, is the biggest reason why less than 5% of the world's population ever achieves financial freedom, and why so many amazing, clever people flounder around in the dark and go and get what they want financially, is because they don't know what they actually want, don't know, no idea, not sure. You're going to say, Anne, but I know what I want money. But when it comes to wealth, many, many people have no idea what that actually means for them. They don't know what financial freedom is in their terms for them, not what magazines or advertisers, society tells them it should be. And so this is why it's so easy to get lost and flounder around in the dark, because if you don't know what you're aiming for, you can never hit it. You can never start that journey. You see, clarity is power. And sadly, when it comes to wealth, most people have got no clear target. Not knowing where you're headed is one of the most paralyzing things and places to be in. So it's really important to get you out of there. Last year I climbed Kilimanjaro on behalf of the Nelson Mandela Foundation. I was really, really honored to ask to climb on behalf of them to raise money to buy sanitary pads for teenage girls to enable them to stay in school so they could get the education that they deserve. Education is so key to this freedom and releasing that potential, releasing that capability. And, so I'm just sharing, that was me on the top of Ururu Peak, the top of the mountain. And, I think about if I tried to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, if I tried to do that feat, if I tried to, set up that contribution mission, with having no idea what I was actually trying to do, let alone where that mountain is, I wouldn't have got far at all. But that is what so many people try and do when it comes to their money stuff. They want to launch off with some tactic or some strategy, but they actually don't know where it is they're heading or what they're trying to achieve. So I'm really excited we're going to get rid of this particular barrier for you right now. So let's get clear. What does being financially free mean to you? For some of you, it might mean having enough food every day for you and your family, with a roof over your head that you know is yours, that nobody could ever take from you, and being able to pay your everyday bills without anxiety and stress. Does that feel like freedom? Perhaps it's being location independent like me. I have a base, but I'm able to manage my assets and my life and my business from anywhere in the world. And I've got more than enough money flowing into my life to maintain and live the lifestyle I want without ever having to eat into that capital amount. And so seriously, I'm able to manage my multi-million wealth pots and my business from my laptop, be it on a yacht while I'm diving in the Maldives or skiing in the slopes of France or in Colorado, or deep in the African bush, or I'm with the gorillas, or I'm on a remote beach in Mozambique swimming with dolphins and whales, or I'm doing a USA road trip exploring the incredible scenery with my camera. It really doesn't matter where. That is what this time freedom and location freedom it gives me. But maybe freedom for you is being able to contribute more, or being able to retire without having to reduce your lifestyle. Let me know in the chat, what is that freedom for you? Oh, getting to adopt rhinos and elephants, to be able to give my kids a better life, not to have to worry about money and do what you always wanted to do. Yeah, I love this. No debt, having spare money and travel whenever. Yep. And so, when we really get clear on this, we see that actually for most of us, it's not about having 72 Lamborghinis and Gordon Ramsay cooking you your breakfast on a Sunday morning and, having another designer handbags for every day of the week. It's actually about these far deeper experiential ways of allowing you to connect with your life in a far more abundant and expansive way, free of anxiety or worry. And so let's define financial freedom and what you're creating that actually will give you that. Because you are financially free when you have enough assets in your asset pots that can earn money for you and pay for your chosen lifestyle without you having to work. That is what we're busy creating. And that is what I'm so passionate about helping you create right now. This is, oh, excuse me, with that. So how much money is that for you? How much is enough? This is such an important question, and you need to be able to define it, because this is the starting point that helps you put your entire plan together. How much money do you need to live your chosen lifestyle? What value of assets do you need to earn you the income so that you don't have to work and you can just have a ball with your life? So let's work it out for you right now. Your unique financial freedom number is exactly that. It's unique to you because it's determined by your chosen lifestyle. There is no magic one number. Many people ask me, how much assets I have, what my net worth is. And I'm happy to share it with people, but it's irrelevant. It's a red herring, because my net worth is determined by my chosen lifestyle, and your target net worth is determined by your chosen lifestyle. And the more we're able to get clear about what we want and strip away the things that we don't want, the easier it is to achieve that net worth, because we're not then trying to build a pot that is designed just to feed stuff that we think we should have rather than what actually serves us. So just for now, to get your first target, just take your current monthly expenses and times them by 12. This will give you your annual expenses. And then take those annual expenses and divide them by 0.08. And this gives you a target net worth. And this net worth is your assets. These are your real wealth generating assets. These are stock market investments, investment properties, low impact businesses, low input businesses, and passive businesses, minus liabilities, any debts or things you owe. That is the target net worth you're after. And so, type that in. Let me know in the questions if you've got your calculator. I hope you've been working that out as we're going. If you haven't done it yet, get your calculator out. And if you want to share what your net worth target is, share that. Or if it just share it with me what it feels like to know that number. Because here's the thing. By doing this calculation, by working this out, you are in a tiny, extraordinary minority of people who actually now knows what their target is. That is absolutely extraordinary, and I really want to honor yourself. If that's all you get from this webinar, which I promise you isn't, that is just going to set you up, because now you know where you're headed. Carmen, 2.5 million. Cool, you know it. Nicole, 4 million. This is brilliant. Charlotte, 150,000 pounds. Brilliant. Katrina, 1 million. This is your net worth target. So now, as you're working that out and you're feeling that, are any of you feeling a little bit overwhelmed or maybe hyperventilated by the size of that number? Maybe you had a brief moment of like, oh, this is so cool to know my net worth. I know when I first worked it out, it was like amazing, like, whoa, it was clarity. And that clarity, rather than initially giving me power, it just gave me heartburn because I went, oh my God, that number just looked so big. Are any of you feeling that? Let me know if it's feeling a little bit overwhelming. Because if it is, firstly, I just want to go, stop, breathe. Male, yeah, you're saying yes, it's overwhelming. Cyprian's saying cool. My target made me fall off my chair when I did it the other day. Brilliant. Wide-eyed. Yeah. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So I've written the number down, but no plan to get there. So brilliant, brilliant. And the reason why I'm so excited is because if you're feeling even vaguely overwhelmed or hyperventilated or no clue how you would actually do it, you've actually just revealed the next big barrier that holds people back. So this is so exciting because, as I've said, when we can reveal these barriers, these beliefs from our unconscious, then we bring light on them, then we can blow them away. So let's get to that next barrier, because this barrier or belief, like how the hell could I ever create that? How the hell could I ever earn that money? Has revealed a belief that most of us, because we don't understand money, I believed it until I got to understand money, was that somehow I had to earn all of this money, that my financial freedom had to be created by me. Are you noticing? Maybe that's a belief coming up for you, that when you see that number, you're going, oh my God, how the hell do I earn that money, let alone save it all? Because this is a belief we can have, that all of that pot has to come from us. So that is the great, great way we're going to bust through this. So I want to welcome you to the world of asset-generated income, because this is a world that most of us have never taught about. It's a world that really very few people, maybe if they're fortunate enough to have parents or family or somebody they come across who really understands assets and asset-generated income, most of us are taught to function in the world of earned income. Go and get some skills so you can sell yourself, your time for that money, not how to use your time and your energy and your creativity and your intelligence to create assets that earn money. And so this is the world. Welcome to this world, because this is how you're going to create your freedom. You see, you've got two ways to bring money into your world. You can get income generated by you, where you work hard for the money, or there's income generated by assets. And my aim is to move you from that world of earned income to the freedom experience in this world of asset-generated income. Because here's the thing, your assets create your freedom, not you. I'm going to say that again. Your assets are going to create that financial freedom net worth, not you. So there you are. There's your freedom and your freedom number, and there are assets. And this is the most beautiful thing. Less than 10% of that number that you calculated actually needs to come from you, because over 90% of your freedom number is going to be created by assets. But the crunch is, you need to create the assets. You need to plant those seeds. You need to get the ball rolling. You are the initial trigger, the force that gets it going. And you might go, how the hell do I do that? And so that's why I just want to share with you, Susan's story. Because when she joined Financial Freedom University, she was absolutely stuck in this place. And she really believed that somehow she had to save this money. And she and her hubby and her kids were in a really, really dire financial position. They weren't able to meet their monthly financial commitments. They were actually way, way behind on their mortgages. And they felt really in quite a desperate position. And when she thought, she had to somehow earn this money and save it. But by actually learning how to manage money, seeing what was going on in their lives, restructuring how money flowed through their life, she was able to clear over 55,000, and she's from Australia, this was Australian dollars, in debts. She was able to put her own emergency fund in place. She was able to really get savings in place and start an investment portfolio, all without earning more, just by managing and approaching what was already in their lives in a different way. And they're able to do this in just 6 months. And by doing this, she was also able to free up more time to spend with her kids and not work nearly so hard. And you might say, well, that might just sound, crazy and incredible. So how did Susan do this? And Susan and, hundreds of others, they do this from finding the seeds. So how do you find those freedom seeds? It's always important to first start with what you already have. So often we're so quick to wanting to dash out, believing we need to earn more income or, start a business or win the lottery or who knows, marry someone or get some inheritance. But in fact, your seeds of your freedom are already hiding in plain sight in your life. So step one is to get more from what you already have. And the first way of doing that is looking if you have already any investments, and you make sure that you increase the value from what you get from your money. And this starts with your investments. So let's say maybe you've got some investments already in place. Maybe it's in a retirement fund, in a pension, either through a work or a private one. Maybe you've got what are called discretionary investments. Maybe they're TV dinner investments, but possibly you already put something aside. So I just want to show you an example of you and a friend. Maybe you both got 10,000 to start with. And your friend goes the classic route that most people do because they've never learned that they can actually create this themselves. So they go to a financial advisor and a broker and they get put into what is called an actively managed fund. You, on the other hand, have realized that actually this creating asset stuff is much easier. You read the Wealth Chef book, you join Financial Freedom University, or whatever way it is, and you've learned about index trackers and passive investing, and you both start investing. Now, with the same underlying assets, the same market, so no different investment strategy, but assuming the average market return, your friend's money in about 20 years will become 48,000, 10,000 to 48,000. No more money has been put in. Yours, on the other hand, just because of some knowledge and skills, would become 170,000. That's 120,000 more. That's 70% more just by having a different structure. No more money and not even any different assets. This is the power of knowledge. And that is done because you've eliminated unnecessary costs that are piled on so many people's investments. So this is about getting more value from what's already in your life. You don't have to get more. But then it's also by going, okay, let's clear the rats from the pantry. And this is starting at the back end. This is starting at the outflow in our life. And I say, expenses and the choices we make at that place and getting really savvy about it. This is not about contracting and being mean and not being able to have, the things you want, but this is making certain that you really value from every bit of money that flows out. So I want to introduce you to Natalie. So this is Natalie and me. This is an event I did, and Natalie, from just really squeezing the juice and exploring her expenses and getting really clear and making sure she got value from it, she was able to, and she found over $1,000 US a month. I mean, how is that? That's not an insignificant amount of money. How did she do it? Well, she looked at insurances. And the extraordinary thing is just about every FFUer and anyone I've worked with, when we start looking at life insurances, funeral plans, all the other insurances, house and car and health and income protection and disability and dread disease and all of these other kind of insurances, travel insurance, pet insurances, it's a huge possibility area of saving. And most people save 10 to 20% on their outgoing. And that's not just 1 month, that is ongoing. Think about it every month, every year, year after year, how much that will bring, more money will bring into your life. So it's really important to know life insurances. How many people have the wrong life insurance or don't need it or have too much or paying too much for it? And also add-ons on insurance, they're a complete waste of money. So that's a huge source. But also debt repayment is massive. Now here's an example of 15,000 of debt, 18% interest. You can save $10,000 in interest just by paying an additional $100 to that repayment a month. Now imagine that 10,000 itself is the very 10,000 that could create 170,000. So you see why it's not about having to create more money initially, but it's about squeezing the juice and getting from what's already there. You know, you can also save 6,000 by just reducing the interest rate, by getting confident and learning how to negotiate. Yes, you can negotiate. And this is exactly what Natalie did. And that's how she was able to free up that money, which started to become her freedom seeds. But both Susan and Natalie and hundreds of other WealthShift clients, they've really started this process. This process starts by paying yourself first. And this is really an emotional and belief-based action that has to happen. You pay yourself first by making yourself the most important bill each and every month. And this is absolutely vital. You've got to do this. You know, if you don't make yourself the most important bill, there's never going to be enough money. There's never going to be that seed, because that's the problem. If you're waiting to see if there's any money left over, then you're actually telling the universe, you're telling yourself, and you're telling everybody else that your freedom doesn't matter, that your freedom comes last, and that's why there's no money left for you. So this is why I would love you just to commit, and you know, in the comments, I would love if you are prepared to commit to make your freedom the most important bill you pay every month. And you're going to do this even when you're not sure whether you're going to have enough money to cover all of your other bills. Because when you pay yourself first, you trigger this magical wealth accelerator compounding, but you also increase your self-worth and your self-esteem. And this has the most extraordinary expansion impact on your life. And I know this might sound a bit woo-woo, but magic really does start to happen. So just on that note, I want to take a quick break. We're going to have a 4 or 5 minute break. Can we be back at exactly on the hour? This is just your opportunity to stretch, have a breath, get some water so you can really stay present. We're going to be back exactly on the hour. And so just stretch, do whatever you need just to really be able to keep yourself present, because there's a lot more that I really want to share with you, but I really know that it's important that we need to enable our bodies to be able to absorb it. And so go and do what you need to do, have that pee break, and I'll see you back real soon. Hey there, well, I'm back. I've had my quick stretch and water. So just while we're waiting for everybody else to come back, if you're here with me, we can always just connect and say hi. And I'd love to just, know while we're waiting for everybody else, if you're wanting to, just a little question I'd love to know is, what do you believe is the biggest obstacle for you achieving what you want right now in your life? What is that biggest obstacle? I'd love to know. So Nicole, needing to get rid of money, that's interesting. Could you expand more for me what you mean by that? Feeling guilt and shame and fear about learning how to manage it. Okay, this is really important. Thank you, Nicole, because actually so often there can be real guilt and shame about money stuff. And often it's triggered so deeply for us when we're young. It can be guilt about having it, guilt about not having it, shame about maybe in the past we felt we didn't look after it, or maybe we felt that money brought us pain. Okay, accountability to someone close by, if possible. Failing that. So fear of success. Okay, a real obstacle, Carlos. Thank you. Discipline, confidence is a big barrier. these beliefs. Yay, Pete is saying commit to yourself first. Great. So I've just asked, what are you believing is, the biggest barrier for you achieving what you want? Yeah, Terry, just spending too much money, time, actually just chasing small amounts of money. Cool. Okay. Fear of losing my savings. Absolutely common, I get that. And yeah, and so often that fear of loss can be the very thing that prevents us actually moving forward to gain and keep us really, really, preventing us moving forward. Wow. Thanks so much. So just as I'm still see, we've got a minute or so to go. So for those of you here, what will happen? And just consider this question: what will happen in 12 months if you haven't overcome this specific obstacle and made any progress towards your free life that you really want? What do you think will happen? Well, how will you feel? Wow, see the obstacle, Linda, you're believing that it's too late because you're retired with limited income. Why bother? Great. Cool. Yeah. Be damage to the marriage if there isn't, a change. Could be in a worse position or just stuck where you are. Great. Well, thank you so much for just really having this courage. And so just as we've got the one last minute while we're just waiting for everyone to get back, what if you were able to overcome this and achieve your freedom? What would that be able to, what would you do? What would be the first thing you did once you had that freedom? Even if it was towards it, as you knew you were well on your way, if you had freed up some of this time, or if you had some free money or extra money to do these things, what would be one of the first things you did? I'd love to know. Cool, keep sharing. Okay, well, let's get back to it because we are about to bust through barrier number 2. And this is the barrier of saying that I've no spare time or I've left it too late. Some of you have shared that that's what you still believe is one of these obstacles, that, maybe you're already retired or you're near retirement. And so you believe there's not enough time, as in time left in your life. But some of you have also no spare time. You're already so busy chasing just the money that the bare money to just get by, that how would you ever bring in more time to actually create investments on top of, even if you find that money, which I've now shown you where to find those little seeds, and knowing that you actually don't have to find a lot, you just need a small amount to get started, that now where do you get the time to actually do the stuff that you need to do? So as we cover this, I really want to talk about something that is really important. And this is about a really crappy belief that also really links with this time belief, but actually exacerbates the time belief. Because when we've got less time to create freedom, it's even more important that we get a guide to show the way, to take action, because there really isn't time to be wasted on getting this moving. Because money and compounding and assets, need time. It's one of the components. So we need to make sure we use every bit of that time. Absolutely, the essence of it, we make the most of it, because we've already seen time is our most precious thing. So one of the things that loses that time, and we can't afford that trial and error, is this real issue of analysis paralysis, of overthinking. And maybe you really know what I'm talking about. And some of you have really shared, so often fear of getting it wrong can really cause this overthinking or this analysis paralysis. This is when you spend ages researching, evaluating, getting information, getting more information, speaking to people, speaking to more people, waiting for the perfect time, never quite feeling confident enough to start and taking action. Just be about being ready, then doubting yourself, pulling back, wondering, should you focus on getting rid of your debt first? Maybe you should start investing, but in what? Maybe you don't have enough insurances. Maybe I've got too much. You go back and forth until you're so exhausted and confused confused and frustrated that you end up doing nothing, or you keep waiting for the right time. And before you know it, months and years have passed and you still haven't got it figured out. And that time that you're worrying about not having much of, well, you've got even less of it and you're no closer to your dreams. And so it's really important that we make informed decisions. But more important is that we keep taking steps and trust that we can think, we can adjust, we move as we fly. We adjust as we go, because actually a moving object, a ball rolling, something with momentum is far more easy to steer and move than something that is just static. So you've got to avoid this analysis paralysis, because it absolutely is the death of your freedom and will pretty much ensure that you'll never, ever, ever achieve it. So let's go. How do you accelerate this journey when there's less time, or you've got a smaller amount of time to be able to do it? Is you first got to understand that there are only 3 levers to creating wealth, 3 key elements to focus on, which is really cool because it shows you that it's pretty straightforward. The first is that seed of money. We've understood that. We're already finding that money. We're putting it in. You've got to put that in consistently. Compounding needs time. And then the third lever is rate of return. So if you have less money to put in and a less time, then what you need to be doing is making sure that you get a higher rate of return on your investments, that your money works harder. And this is all a learned skill. Your money is working harder when you get a higher rate of return, a highest interest rate. And this is the essence of really being smart wealth chefs. This is about being savvy with money and actively getting your money work harder. That is the whole point. This is the point of creating assets and then making sure that those assets work harder and harder. So again, let's look at you and your friend. Your friend's still stuck with her actively managed fund. But on top of that 10,000, she realized, okay, regular money investments are important. So in this case, 2,000 a month is being added to the pot. But your friend stays with that actively managed fund. And her target, well, both of your targets, $1 million. And your friend will get there in 19 years, and she will have had to put in just under $500,000 will have to have come from her. But you, on the other hand, have learned that not only can you cut the costs so you can get a better return than your friend through passive investments, through index trackers, than these actively managed funds, but actually you can use acceleration techniques like leverage and different asset classes to double or even triple your rate of return. But in this case, you're just aiming for double the return of an actively managed fund, which is actually pretty damn straightforward. And in this case, you'll achieve your $1 million in 9.5 years, less than half the time that it'll take your friend. And even better, you see, less than half of the amount of money will have to come from you. Because the harder you can get your money to work, the higher the rate of return, the less money and the less time you need. And that is the whole essence of becoming smart with your money. But by taking the time and being prepared to put in energy and time now to create those assets and getting work hard for you, because what it does, look, it buys you time, beautiful time to spend on the life that you really want. And it saves you a huge amount of money. I mean, this is just, Angela, one of our amazing FFUers, this just posted in the fantastic community we have, the Facebook group. And she just said she's spent quite a bit here lately. That's in the very active community we have. And she's done house moves, but she said she would just catch up. And she wanted to let us know that she had been getting an 11% average return on that's her H&L platform, that's her online broker platform. And she shared that by reshaping her investments from these TV dinner investments, those are those actively managed funds, to self-managed index trackers, she was able to knock 6 years off her time for freedom. Now that, you see, there was no extra money, there's just a little bit of knowledge. And she said, wow, how's that for value for money from FFU? And time and more, every FFU, we just have so many stories like that. A tiny bit of knowledge just can have this massive leveraged impact because you can increase your rate of return. But your double and treble rates of return are also just really, really achievable with a tiny bit of knowledge, and you can really turbocharge your journey. And what is key here for those of you who say, well, I don't have the money and I don't have the time, The key thing here is learning how to use leverage, using other people's money, other investors' money, other people's time, using systems and processes. And you can apply all of these on all the asset classes. This could be in the stock market, this could be investment property, and passive income businesses, whether they're online businesses or physical bricks and mortar businesses that are low input. Because you see, you can get infinite returns when you've got none of your own money down on the deal, and you can just do it over and over again. And this is when you really start understanding that quite literally you can create assets from nothing. And that's why I just want to quickly share with you, Stan and Nadia's story. Stan and Nadia joined FFU and they started investing in the stock market and other things, but they really, really, really wanted to have their own home. But they didn't have a down payment, a deposit for it, but they actually decided that they wanted to be able to have their home free of a mortgage. And they didn't want to just wait for 20 years, 25 years to do that. And so they made a commitment. Firstly, they believed it was possible. Remember that very first step, you have to believe that it is possible. Then they believed that it was possible for them if they really committed and they learned how to do it. And so that's exactly what they did. Within the training of FFU, they just realized that they could buy and sell properties with no money of their own. And then each time they did that, they could keep the difference between the buying and the selling. And so it's called the difference in the trade. And by doing this, a couple of times they realized they could make the money to buy their home. So that's exactly what they did. They used a specific auction strategy, and after 5 successful auction trades, buying a property at auction and then selling it in the open market, they were able to buy their dream home cash. This young, beautiful couple were able to have their family home free of a mortgage. And that was just so important to them and created so much freedom for them, because now they just freed up so much that they could now invest in other areas of their life, and also time for them today and for tomorrow. You learn by doing. You master this money stuff by being in it and learning and applying, and you get better and better each time you do. You master it by surrounding yourself with people who are doing these things, who will believe it too and can guide you and support you, and also point you where you might be going down the wrong path so you don't get burnt, so that you have this whole supported base. Because here's the thing, wealth creation and getting your money work with you is only 20% technical skill, and the rest of it is all mindset. It's mindset, support, and community. And it's vital that you invest money in you too, that you expand yourself and in your skills and in your mindset, and you ensure that you take the actions to get moving on this amazing journey. Get moving and say, you get to realize that you can build this boat. You don't have to wait for your ship to come in. And I really want to encourage you to grab that hammer now. Please don't wait. Don't wait for somebody else, or believe somebody else needs to rescue you, or there's a job, or there's an inheritance, or there's a partner, or there's a lottery win. No, you can create this freedom now. All you need is a couple of skills and a couple of bit of material, and you can build that boat and sail off into that beautiful sunset. Because you see, ultimately, you are the greatest asset you have. And financial literacy will solve your financial problems. Because an investment is knowledge, is always that best investment, because it can be paid over and over and over. But knowledge, until it is applied, is just information. You need that seed of information. You need to take action. And so this is what I just want to share with you. And I said I'd show you how you could take it further if you wanted to go deeper and really accelerate your time to freedom, really get this knowledge. And this is what Financial Freedom University does. And I'm so excited because registration is open right now. And it would just really want, invite you to come along so that you can, feel that you'll know that you'll be able to stop worrying about your old age, that you won't have enough money to support yourself. And you'll know that you don't have to be panicking, and that you've got the whole plan together, that something hasn't been left out. You also no longer need to doubt yourself or stress or feel guilty or shameful, because you'll have support and knowledge and an amazing community to support you on this journey. And that's exactly what Financial Freedom University is all about. And one of the greatest things about the annual opening of when we open Financial Freedom University for registration is I get to hear back from so many of my amazing clients and the people who are implementing these recipes in their life. And I hear their stories. I hear their successes. I mean, some of you have shared it already on the chat, just, how much this has changed your life and that ripple effect into the lives of others. And, I just so love hearing these stories, and I've got to tell you that I absolutely love this business. I love what I'm able to do now that I've created my freedom. I love that I'm able to spend my time doing this. And I love what mastering money has done for me and my family, and what it's afforded me to be able to experience and do in the world. But what really gets me leaping out of bed in the morning is the impact I'm making. That I'm helping so many amazing, big-hearted people, just like you, to free themselves from these money prisons, and so they can get out into the world. And they are now doing amazing things and experiencing their life, really to the full. They are creating jobs for others, and they are contributing, and just mostly they are joyful. Because here's the thing: I truly believe that the world's greatest need directly intersects with your greatest joy. And when you have money that gives you the time to really experience and focus and commit to creating great joy, that is when we create a difference in the world. And so I just so love that this amazing impact is rippling out. And I think of the more and more people who create conscious wealth and understand what true wealth really is, we can start making a real significant difference in the world. So if you are ready to take this further and go deep on this journey, then I would love you to join me in Financial Freedom University, and join this incredible community of FFUers who are incredibly supportive and just really made 2017 the year when this all changed for you, and this freedom just started rolling out in front of you like this incredible carpet. And on the screen now on the webinar, you should be able to see a button that will allow you to find out more about it. You can also go to this URL, financiallyforyou.com, and that will open another window. And so you see, FFU is run Financial Freedom University. FFU is what we call it. It's pretty much like a university class. So registration opens, and it's going to be open just for a few more days, and then we close and classes get started, and we all go through this incredible training. So if you want to master money and live free, then there are just two ways you can go about it. You can try and figure this all out on your own. You can use your time and your money to find out the way to do it, whilst taking a lot of risk on, because as you've seen, that really is, that preciousness of those seeds of money, those seeds of time. But if you've got a balance of those, absolutely do that. The other option is you can take the shortcut, and you can take the route that you absolutely know works, because not only have I done it, but actually thousands of people now have created their freedom through this process. And this is what Financial Freedom University is all about. It's a deep dive. It's 10 core modules of training that you work through that teaches you everything you need to know about becoming financially free and creating a sustainable wealth in your life on that serves you for life. We cover the foundations. We get those all in place, so you know exactly what you're working with, your ingredients and your tools. We make those solid so you know what's going on in your money world. We get your freedom strategy in place, knowing exactly where you're headed in a lot more detail than we did today, knowing where you are now and what is the path that you're going to follow with the milestones in between, so you can track it, so you can take those steps. Then we dive deep into money leadership. These are your wealth habits, your behaviors around money, and also how do you put these things onto autopilot in an automated way, so you can give money great leadership and management without having to consume a whole heap of your time. Then we spend a whole chunk and a whole module just getting more value, squeezing the juice from the money flowing out of your life, really finding and getting more from what's already in your life, instead of dashing out believing you've got to get more, trying to work harder. That's not the strategy. We start with making sure that you're getting the most value from that place. And before we start pouring more water into your money world, we want to make sure that it's being direct and you're getting most value from it. This is what creates the sustainability. Then if you've got any consumer debt in your life, we spend a whole module on that. We put together your debt blitzing plan in place. Again, we put that on autopilot so that you have the freedom from debt by knowing that you've got it sorted even way before you've got debt cleared out your life. Because so much of the freedom is about the freedom of the anxiety and worry. Because once you know you've got a plan that works, when you see it working, when you see it working in others, and you've got it in place and it's on autopilot and you're managing it, that is where the freedom and from that stress comes about. Then we start really having a ball creating these different assets in your life. We first focus on the stock market, and you learn how to put together your own passive investment portfolio, how to do that in an automated way and get it on autopilot, and how to increase those returns safely and securely. Then we go into investment property, and in that module we also dive deep into leverage, really understanding how to use the concept of good debt and other people's money and no money down deals to significantly accelerate your time to freedom, if that is what you're needing and wanting to do. Then in module 8, we go into passive businesses and what I call low input or leveraged income generating asset-based businesses. These can be online businesses, real-world businesses, but we look at systems and processes and tools and bring in other people's times. This is when we explore things like how you can have vending machines and ATMs and shipping containers, how low input and automated car wash systems and laundry systems are incredible low input businesses that you can invest in and create that can just earn money for you over and over and over. We also go into online businesses and understanding how the internet has just created unprecedented access for everyday people like you and me to literally reach markets around the world and to leverage the internet and be able to give value out in the world and repeat that and get paid literally thousands of times over for creating value once, instead of trying to exchange that one-on-one time for money exchange. Then we look and go deep into how to protect yourself, your assets, and those you love by things like insurances, wills, powers of attorneys. And here we also dig deep and find and save you heaps of money by ensuring you only have the insurances that you need. And by also having these protections in place, this is part of that freedom, that you can sleep well at night knowing that you are protected and safe, that nobody can get to your assets, and that if something were to happen to you, those you love are taken care of. And then finally, we wrap this all together in really mastering the greatest asset of all, which is you. Really looking even deeper into the mindset, the behaviors, the beliefs, the value structures and the systems that will really allow you to break free from so many of the limitations that we take on from life when we haven't yet learned how to really use this incredible mind that we're given, and so that you can keep expanding all of this and mostly really, really enjoying the freedom that the money is going to give you. So making sure that you actually create freedom, not just a big pile of money. So that is what Financial Freedom University is. And how it works is it's multimedia training. There's videos, there's audios, there's downloads, there's workbooks, there's PDFs, there's transcripts. And so that you can have these multiple different ways of learning. There's also a very structured process. So it not only is Financial Freedom University built to last, but it's structured in a way that your freedom is built to last. You also have lifetime access. It's for life. This isn't some program that you're going to quickly whip through in 8 or 10 weeks, boom, done and dusted. Because here's the thing. Creating wealth and living a wealthy life is not a problem to be solved. Wealth is about something to be integrated into your life. And it's something that you live and experience every day. So this is vitally important that you know you have access to Financial Freedom University, the community, me, for life, for as long as you need it, so you can come back and forth depending on where you are on your particular plan. And you get ongoing support. You're not alone. There are Q&As, there's live training sessions, and I say there's this community where you get access to me and all of the other amazing FFUers who are well on their way. And also all of the Q&As, all the training calls are all recorded. You can download them. They're also all transcribed, but also all the videos are available for you to download so that you can use your in-between time is really wealthy time. There's different modalities when you're traveling, when you're commuting, when you're running, when you're cooking, when you're in the bath. Yep, you can have me with you wherever you want to be. So you can really allow this to seep in because, yeah, we know you're busy. And this is how you're able to do this by, taking those small snippets of time on that conveyor rather than going, oh, I've got to somehow, take this huge chunk out of my life in order to create this for me. And this is Justina, a bit of her story of she's in South Africa and she was a technician in a food laboratory testing different foods, sources, and she really believed that that was her life, that she would be in this laboratory pretty much stuck inside all day, every day, until she was well into her 60s, until she could maybe retire and hopefully have enough when she started this journey. And she realized as she did this, that actually financial freedom is a reality for her. When she started, she believed it was possible, but she didn't really believe it was possible for her. But she thought, she knew she had nothing to lose and everything to gain by just taking that step and going for it. And now she's actually about a year ago, she was able to leave that job. She's created her freedom. She's now started multiple businesses. She's got a property portfolio and the stock market. She's also exploring Bitcoins and others, virtual Bitcoins is this coin technology, which she's doing Bitcoin mining, amongst other things, and she started a business employing others, so leveraging other people's time to earn income. So she's really mastered this multiple asset strategy to create freedom. So with Financial Freedom University, when you join now, you'll also get a number of amazing bonuses to support you, and one is a digital workshop. This is over 20 hours of videos recorded as an incredible event I did in London. And so you get access to that, and you get this juicy life pack. So there are 7 incredible programs which I'll unpack for you now, which are really designed to help you in some of these other areas, these finer areas, and really ensure that you keep going on this momentum in addition to all the other training. And in addition to the live training calls and the Q&A that you get with the modules for Financial Freedom University, I'm also going to give you an additional 6 months of mentoring and Q&A with me, which really gives you that added boost. Because as I say, this is about sustainability. So in your Juicy Life Pack, you get access to our community. So this is the membership in our Facebook community, which is extraordinary, an amazing group there. You're going to get a program all about what do you need in terms of the tools and the resources and the systems for an online business. And it's a virtual workshop where I take you through the systems and tools I use and how I came about selecting those, so you can really cut through hours of research on that side. Also get a program on designing your wealthy life. We've said how important it is for you to know what your wealthy life really is and cutting away the excess and the noise that comes into your life. And this is exactly what we do in a really powerful process in this program, Designing Your Wealthy Life, so you can get really clear on that. And for those of you who are on variable income, who you maybe work for yourself and are really struggling, going, and how do I save? How do I manage my money? How do I invest when I don't even know how much is going to come in every month? This is exactly the program for you. And I show you how to create these different reservoirs so you can balance it out, the mayhem that can often be created from a variable income flow. And just this program alone has transformed so many amazing coaches and entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and freelancers and people that have variable income have just shared back to them like, oh my God, and this has completely transformed my relationship with money. I just feel so much more comfortable because now I can plan, I can manage, I can invest, I can save because of this system you shared with me. And so you're going to get that as well as one of your bonuses. Then there's a program on really believing it and receiving. So this is really helping you to break further through these barriers of believing that a wealthy life is actually possible for you. And this is a 3-part audio program which you can listen to anytime, really going deep and helping you believe that you deserve this, that it is possible, and helping you resurrect dreams that maybe have been buried for a very long time in your life, because it's so important we get those beliefs resurrected for you. And then 2 more programs. You're going to get an amazing program. It's emotional freedom therapy. It's an incredible tapping technique which lets you let go of guilt and shame and management and embarrassment and just negative emotions associated around money, about finance, that have maybe attached and come into your life from your past. And this is an amazing technique that will help you let go of this, because often these emotional things that we hold on in our body and sometimes we're not even conscious of are really things that cause massive, massive, massive barriers for us being able to actually, create this financial freedom, create that abundance, and actually live and enjoy the money that flows into our life. And then finally, part of, and this is an incredible sort of passive income business opportunity, which is an area for online called affiliate marketing, of how through referrals, and you can create an extraordinary streams of revenue coming into your life by referring other trainings, the products with people. So this could be Amazon referrals, affiliate marketing, and there's a whole program teaching you how to do that. So you get all of this together with Financial Freedom University this year. So in total, it's a value of almost $4,000 that you're going to get when you join this year. And yeah, just here's one of Lee's stories. Lee joined when she was, about to turn 50, and she was working over 60 hours a week when she joined Financial Freedom University, and just battling to just even cover her monthly costs. She had no idea where to find that extra money. And in less than 9 months, she was buying a buy-to-let. She had stocks and stock market investments already in place, and she was really moving forward on a passive income business in just 9 months. And it just transformed her whole approach, where she actually was feeling quite desperate, thinking, am I ever going to be able to break out of just this barely getting by? And she really, understood and just shared with me that, how vital the mindset component was. In addition to all of the strategies and techniques and investment strategies that she got in Financial Freedom University, the support and the mindset and this really deeper aspect was vital for her being able to turn her life around like that. So today, over 4,000 in value, and actually it's way more than that, because the value of, wow, what it does for people's lives is extraordinary. But in terms of programs, when you join today, you can join. There's 2 payment options. There's a 3 payment option for 3 payments of $567, and that you'll save over $2,233 just in all those bonuses. Or there's a 1 pay option where you can pay in full today for $1,497, and that'll save you an additional $204. So choose your option, get started today. I am so looking forward to being able to work with you at a much deeper level. And know this, it's really important that you are really savvy with money, that you ensure that you really get value. And this is so important to me, that you really get this and you demand more of this in your life from your money, that I want to let you know that there is a 30-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked, because this is so important that you are able to, jump into Financial Freedom University, do the first 4 modules, be on some of the live training, get your Q&A. And if you're truly not happy with it, if you truly don't feel it has the value that I've shared with you, then you just drop us a little email and we'll give you all of your money back. So you see, there really is no risk to you. You can go and check it out, ensure that there really is this value. And yeah, if not, you get an absolute full refund. So what happens after you click and join? Well, you're going to click that buy button. You're going to go through to a really secure checkout page. Everything is taken on secure servers. Your payment is absolutely secure in separate servers managed. You're going to enter your billing details. And then as soon as you do, you're going to get some emails that are going to give you a login to Financial Freedom University Classroom, where all the training will start. You'll get those logins. And you're going to start being able to roll through the modules, get that training going, and you can check out the live training course schedule and really get ready to rock and roll. And of course, you're going to also join the Financial Freedom University and introduce yourself to the amazing well chefs in there. And you're going to be blown away by their abundance and their sharing. So I'm so excited to welcome you on board. So let's go on to barrier number 3. And this is the barrier of no support, of believing that your partner's not on the same page for you, or maybe your kids, or maybe your parents, or maybe your friends, or maybe you even believe that your partner's actually robbing you your freedom because maybe they just don't get it, or they're not committed, or maybe they're really stuck and believe that there actually isn't enough. And I know this is a huge barrier for many, many, many people in Financial Freedom University, because I get to know everybody so well in there. Well, it was a belief. And when they've been able to break through this barrier, they've realized that actually the difference that it can make when they break through this barrier. But if we believe that, it And so how do you get your loved ones supporting you? Well, this is how. You first start with values. Everything to do with your wealth actually starts at this point. So irrespective of whether you believe you've got this particular barrier in your life, I really want to start with this place, because our values are really just about getting really clear on what is important to us. And it has to start with you. Everything in life comes back to us. We realize that at its core, everything always starts and ends with us. Now, sometimes that feels great because it means that we have the power. Sometimes it can feel quite hard because it means we don't really have excuses. That actually everything starts with us, and it's only us that can take that first step. So you've got to start with you, and you've got to get clear on what is important to you in your life. Get really clear on that. Maybe in the chat right now, I would love to know, what is important to you in your life? What are the things that you say are important, and what is it that you want to experience more of? Get really clear of why is creating your financial freedom so important. Remember, you shared that right at the beginning. This is why we started. The more you can align with these values and what is important to you, the more you can be assured that you will stay and stick with that path. Being clear about this. Get clear on why you must do this. Get clear on why being great with your money is a must. Get absolutely clear on why creating freedom isn't just a nice to have. It isn't some dream. Knowing that actually this is your destiny, that for you to live the life that you know you're meant to be living, to be able to have do the contribution you know you're meant to be making, to have those experiences, to feel that joy, you must master this money stuff. But get clear on the specificity of the why, because when you do, you can then start sharing it. But here's the second component. It's really important that you realize that you can't want the financial freedom for them more than they want it. It's so important. And often, many of us rescuers, we can feel like, but don't they get it? This is so important. I can remember coming back from some personal development training, and certainly as I was learning about assets and I was creating my own financial freedom, I wanted to share it with my siblings, with my sisters and my brother and friends. And I had to be and then I realized I had to be very careful, because I couldn't want it more than they did. And in fact, if I kept going on about it, it can actually easily make them feel that you're judging them, that you're making them wrong. And that can come across as criticism, and that can actually just make them dig in deeper. So here's the key thing though, and this is the little thing. You can't wait. And many people go, well, Anne, I'm waiting till I've got my partner on board. When there's more support, when my friends are doing this, when maybe my parents believe in me, then I can start. But this is the ego keeping you trapped, going, when my partner's on board, then I can start doing this. But that when then is one of the most fatal traps you can have, which will just ensure that you stay in the life that you don't want, and that you never, ever, ever get to experience what you really want. Because here's the thing, when you actually take those steps and start creating your financial freedom, then those you love will start coming on board. And that's the real rub. So you've got to accept and realize that you can't make them change or to change them. You've got to let them change at their pace and organically in their own way. And you've got to let them catch up. But catching up means that you've started. You have to take that step. But while you're doing it, you can't have a plan to bring them on board. So how do you onboard? Firstly, you've got to know thyself. This is, why do we have a whole module on mastering ourselves, knowing ourselves? And one of those things is you've got to know where and when do you have money fights, or maybe even not money fights, but when do the money conversations or the financial conversations between you and your partner tend to get a little bit testy, a little bit uncomfortable? Is it because maybe you or your partner always maybe bring up a money decision just as one of you is either dashing out the door, or maybe you just got comfortable on something else? Well, notice that and stop bringing up money stuff at that time. Stop doing the things that actually don't get the results you want. Set a money date. And before you do, let the person know, let your partner know, that this is really important to you, and you want to have a time specifically where you're going to talk about money and your freedom and all the cool stuff that you're going to be creating. And then start with what is working. When you have that money date, really share with all the great things that are going on in your money world. You might have to dig deep, but you know what? Find some stuff to appreciate. This is not just some woo-woo shit. Oh, excuse my language. This is not just some woo-woo stuff. This is about, research has shown when we start with appreciation, it absolutely changes the chemical reaction in our body, in the body of those we work with, and creates more possibility for actual collaboration and collusion and energy towards expansion. So start with what's working and acknowledge it. Then share your big why. Share what's important to you. Share with why you're going to do this, whether they're joining you or not, and why you're excited about it. And then ask them to share what financial freedom would give them so that they can create their big why too. Realize that maybe they haven't been on this webinar, they haven't read the Wealth Chef book, maybe they're not yet in Financial Freedom University and haven't watched some of the modules with you. So help them to start igniting their dreams again, even start connecting that actually financial freedom could be possible for them. And then shut up and let them talk. Listen to what comes up for them. Notice their beliefs, notice their barriers, but don't try and fix it. Just listen and let it come out. And then remember, baby steps. But those baby steps are yours to be taken, not theirs. And another way you can also get somebody on board is leverage outside influences. It's always easier to use a third party because then it doesn't sound so much like judgment and criticism. So you can share with them some of the modules in Financial Freedom University. You can say, the Wealth Chef said. You could even buy them the book, The Wealth Chef, to get them going. But the most important thing here is you have to take that first step. You have to be the change. And I was just thinking about really wanting to honor you for being on this webinar, for being somebody who takes action, for giving this time to your freedom. And so I decided that when you join Financial Freedom University now on this webinar, I'm going to give you 2 additional amazing programs. And these are my newest programs that are going to be created in the next few months. They are so hot off the press, they're not even created yet. So you're actually going to be part of the live creation. So you'll be able to get to answer questions, be part of that. And the first one is exactly on this. It's love and money. And it's really is the deep dive in mastering this freedom game with those you love. Because the truth is, we will do almost anything to belong, for connection, for love. And sadly, often that will also mean doing things that really sabotage what we really want, will sabotage our freedom, and often will sabotage our financial freedom if we feel we need to do that in order to not lose that connection. And so this program is all about how you can really bring your partner along, how the two of you can really create this extraordinary connection around your money and actually use your mastering of your money as a way to bring a whole level of intimacy and connection and closeness and vulnerability and authenticity to your relationship, so that as you move forward, you know that what you're creating with your money is really aligned to your values and that you both really headed in the same direction around real conscious wealth and contribution and making this world a better place. And the second program I'm going to be giving you and creating is Smart Money Kids. And this is about how you set your kids up for a life of financial ease and real abundance. And, I use the word ease because not about them not mastering money and earning their own money and creating those assets, but ease of anxiety and stress around money stuff, because you will have set them up with these incredible empowered money skills, and they will be entering into this life feeling confident about money and not all over the place, terrified of getting it wrong or doing it wrong or ending up in so many of the pitfalls and holes that you and I ended up because we were just never taught this stuff. But on even another level, you'll also be setting your kids up to be great custodians of wealth. And so that they can really use that power and that knowledge to ensure that actually their world is created a better place. Because right now, the world that we're creating for the next generation doesn't look so great. And I truly believe that we can turn this around with real conscious wealth, conscious direction of where we direct money. And I think by creating a next generation of kids who truly understand the power of money, they understand their responsibility with it, I think we can create an amazing world. And that is what this program is all about. So you're going to get these for free when you joined today, because I really want to honor you for taking this action, for taking this time whilst you're on that crazy conveyor belt of life. So be the change you want to see. Share it with those you love and ensure that our future generation creates a world that is worthy of us humans. And so, time for your questions. We've had a big session. I want to so honor you for being on this call, being here with me. So you see, I'm still here, still got my purple specs, and it's just so great to be here. So it's really great that you're all coming on board. So yeah, welcome Rachel, welcome Tina. Oh, there's a whole group of you. I can't wait to dive in and support you and get to know your specific story and journey, because that's exactly what happens in Financial Freedom University. We connect so close. That constantly you're able to keep momentum going. You're not waiting for these monthly ones, plus there are live monthly Q&As. Now, if you can't make the call live, what we do is before all of the training calls, you can send our amazing support fairy teams, beautiful Sibongile and Di, an email with your question. If you know you can't make the call, you can be on there live. All the calls are also recorded, they're transcripts, so that you can get, so there's no reason to not be getting the support. Remember, you also have the Facebook group, that community in there, which is really real-time support and action of keeping going. And so the time zones, well, I guess the time zone is you. I think Sibongile and Di can share with you. I can't even remember. I think it's similar time to this, but Di would be able to tell you, what those are. But remember, they're all recorded. So let's start answering your specific questions. As Sheila says, my dream is Zanzibar, but no one in my tribe wants to go. Sheila, as I said, so what's so cool is find some new tribe and get some new people, or go on your own and meet some amazing new people there. But this is one of the big challenges, is why it's so important that firstly we create this freedom for ourselves, but then we start being able to learn language of how to communicate and share, and that ripple out. Because it can be a real challenge once you've created your own freedom, and your friends and those that you want to spend time are still stuck on that conveyor belt and don't have freedom of time. But whilst this is so important, when you will create that, it's important that you don't let that stop you, because a lot of people do, or they go back into contraction. So why it's so important you meet new friends, and you will with the FFU, all these amazing FFUers. Okay, so brilliant. So Esther said, I already changed my mindset too, and I just went on a cruise to Portugal, to the Portuguese island, and I found the money and I went. And this is so key, because I think I'm just trying to find the questions. I'll pop down. I'm sure there are questions here. And because often when we go, we make a commitment to that life, we then focus on the money stuff. When we make a commitment to the life we want, and so I'm going to do whatever it takes, we get creative, we find the way, and we know that money is only one of the inputs, and we find how to do that. Cool. Okie dokie. Okay, let me see your questions. Okay, here's a question. Cool. Beulah said, what about a 6-month payment plan? Some of us are stuck with exchange rate income and it's not sufficient for the 3 payment plan. Beulah, great. Thanks for asking that question. Can you just email Sibongile and note, and I'll chat to Sibongile and see if there's something we can do about that. So I don't really have. Okay, let's see. So what are your questions you have about your barriers and getting out of this? Let's see. Great. Anthony said, I'm really sad now, I can't afford it. So Anthony, I just want you to just challenge that belief of going, what could I do to afford it? How could I? Whether it's for Financial Freedom University or anything else, just for everybody here, when we're talking about beliefs and barriers, I really want to encourage you to almost ban the words, I can't afford it, because they are one of the most destructive phrases we can use in our lives, because what it does, it almost is like a suppression of a dream when we tell ourselves, imagine there's this amazing, part of you that is still bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and hasn't been battered down by life in the conveyor belt, and that's where your dreams still arrive, that wanderlust for life, where everything is possible, and they know it's possible because everything is possible. And they pop their little head up and go, and they get excited and go, wow, this is amazing. They start re-feeling that energy of joy and possibility. And then it's like this, this big monster or somebody else's voice goes, no, can't afford it. And, Anthea and anybody else who might be noticing that, I'd really encourage you to go, whose voice is that actually? Is that really my voice? Or is that a voice that I took on maybe from parents or siblings or maybe teachers or community that I can't, we can't afford it? And almost then that shrinking and notice that sadness, Anthea. So I really encourage you to do this exercise right now, because as I said, this is not just about you joining FFU or not. This is really about understanding your relationship with money and your beliefs, because when we say I can't afford it, our unconscious just shrinks. And so that part of us that is a problem solver, that is creative, that comes up with solutions, just gets told, oh, okay, you can't. And so it literally goes back to bed, goes back to sleep, it gets suppressed, it feels sad, it goes, okay, you don't want my help. Whereas when we can go, okay, how could I afford it? What could I do? What other ways? How might I be able to do it? We then keep asking questions. So Anthea, as I said, this isn't about Financial Freedom University, although it would just be fantastic to have you on it. And I know you're getting incredible value, and it would make an amazing, take you to your freedom. I would love everybody here to just go, over the next 24 hours, I want you to keep saying, how can I afford it? You see, even Bracken always, come on, Brax, has to, she's joining in going, how can you afford it? And start writing down. Just brainstorm this. Let the ideas flow rather than restricting it, because so often we shut it down. What else could I do? What could I sell? What could I create? What new thing could I bring in? Could I create an Airbnb? How would I do that? Really go and explore, and say, this is important to me. What can I do? And just notice how that creates an energy of expansion. So I know there wasn't a question, but thank you so much for sharing that, Anthea, and letting me use that as a great coaching opportunity for everybody, and really get us in. So, okay, Nicole said, will there be live calls? I'm just saying a few. Okay, how can you own an ATM? Great. Well, Sheila, actually, vast majority of ATMs around the world are actually owned by private individuals. They are, the mechanism and stuff is actually owned, and so you can own these. So together with ATMs, we've actually, one of our great FFUers, I don't know whether Dustin's actually on this webinar. I haven't seen Dustin say, because Dustin often pops on. He's amazing. Actually, he lives in Cape Town, and Dustin's doing amazing things. Yeah, oh, Michelle, I've just seen that. I really think we need to create our own support group in Cape Town. Well, there is an amazing group of FFUers down in Cape Town. There's some great groups in London. There's groups in Johannesburg. There's groups in Melbourne. There's groups starting up in LA. So all over the world, there's some fantastic groups. There's also different groups of FFUers have created WhatsApp groups, so physical groups, different worlds. But so, Dustin was just sharing with all of us, and he's going to do a little masterclass for all the FFUers on vending machines. So he's just got his first few vending machines in place, where you actually lease the vending machines, and then he's got contracts with some local government departments. And so there he has these vending machines churning out and earning money for him day in, day out while he's doing it. So there are so many of these kind of things. As I say, shipping containers. I mean, there's another vending machines where someone's created vending machines which pop out little flat shoe pumps in different sizes, and they are outside nightclubs. So you know what it's like. Well, maybe I haven't been to one for a while. Well, no, having said that, I was recently in New York, and I'm going to be again in New York next week. So I'll mostly going boogieing. where you've been on the dance floor for a while, maybe in the heels, even if not, and those feet are feeling a little bit tired, and there are these vending machines, and the cat's really trying to scratch against the the mic. So there's vending machines that we can all quickly pop flats on to jump into the underground or into the underground and get wherever you're going, or into the cars. So all of these amazing ways, through pretty small amounts of money, you can start these multiple streams. So it's really important to break this big one bang mindset. Okay. Great, and I'm paying off my debt, but I've found additional money to invest in a tax-free unit trust. Is Satrix India a good additional investment option? Right, so firstly, Jennifer, well done. So absolutely, as you pay down your debt, this is the thing, it starts freeing up money. So well done for doing this, and I hope you've got this on this automated plan so you really get that snowball going. And as you sort of stop that bleeding and you plug those holes and you realize that actually living free of debt is not only possible, but actually it's extraordinary. It's the way to be. You get this more money coming in. And so well done now for then being able to direct that money into your asset pot. And so putting it in your tax-free pot is absolutely the first pot that you want to be investing in. And so this is great. For those of you not sure what I'm talking about, this is about having a tax-free wrapper. So one of the key things is about not only learning how to get these money out of debt, managing it, freeing up more money and creating assets, but also making sure that you just you then use the most tax efficient vehicle so that you get more from your money. And that's what's like in the UK, they're called individual savings accounts. They're actually a tax-free wrapper. In Canada, they're called tax-free savings accounts, like in South Africa. In the US, they're called Roths. These are tax-efficient wrappers, which are your first investment pot that you want to be putting your stock market investments in, because they're going to burn even hotter for you, meaning they're going to give you a higher rate of return. And because of you've learned today on this masterclass, the higher rate of return gets you earn more, you get more money, gets you to your freedom faster with less money in for you. So Jennifer, the Satrix Indy. So for those of you who aren't from South Africa, the Satrix is just an exchange-traded fund from South Africa, and it's the top industrial fund. So it is an index tracker, it is a passive investment vehicle. So great that you won going into index tracker vehicles. Yes, this is what we're talking about with passive investing. That's exactly what you learn in Module 6, all about index tracker passive investing and putting it into your tax-free account. So the Satrix Indy is a great index tracker. Just remember, I will never tell you what to buy. I will guide you to how to work out whether it's a good investment for you, because what I'm teaching you is how to fish, how to create this freedom so that you build this confidence and this knowledge that what you're doing is going to create this freedom, and so you can do it. So absolutely. So what you want to do is you want to look at that fund fact sheet. You want to make sure that it's low cost. You want to sure that the investment is going into those specific funds, that it's completely transparent. And the Satrix Indy is exactly one of those. So pretty much any ETF or index tracker is that. And then you have this nice portfolio that you can put together. So great question, Jennifer. So when does Financial Freedom University start? Well, Lucy, it's basically starting now. So Module 1 is really ready for you. So you can go in there and start getting your foundation and your fundamentals in place, the solid base. And then we're closing registration in a couple of days. And next Monday, we're effectively starting live in the Facebook group, getting the questions going. And the first live training call is, I think, in about 10 days' time from the schedule, so that you've got time to really go through the module, implement those sites so you can get your questions and you can really get value out of that first call. And then it's on an ongoing basis. And remember, you have access for life. And one of the fantastic things about Financial Freedom University is you keep coming back. So although you've got access for life, you've got your Financial Freedom University community and the membership aspect and the ongoing Q&A. What happens every time we do it live again and the live training calls, you can choose to re-attend those calls over and over again. And so we've got some effort viewers who've been going into their 4th year now, who are loving being able to connecting, because as I said, your wealth is something that expands. It's like this multiple layer cake. It's not just one thing, a big bang, a problem to be solved. And so really understanding you can keep getting more support. So as you're going, maybe you start off, get your first portfolio in place, maybe your first investment properties, or maybe you want to focus on that in your first 6 months, and then 6 months later you want to focus on investment property. That's the great thing you can, because it constantly keeps going, and it really is designed to be an integration thing into your life. And so Rose says, can I just buy the Affiliate Marketing 101? At the moment, we don't. We bundle all of these products together, right? So, come on in Financial Freedom University, and you can also end up becoming an affiliate for FFU. We have a huge percentage of our FFUs, once they get such amazing results, their friends, their family ask about it. And when we do a big affiliate launch, which we do once a year around about August, many FFUs make back more than all of their investment and more together on learning referral marketing. So that's how you'd get it there. Sheila said, is Blue Monkey going to New York? Absolutely. So this is Kima. He was named when I climbed Kilimanjaro. He really teaches me how to let it be easy, because he was carried all the way up the mountain and he was pretty chilled. And he was named as Kima. So Kima means blue monkey in Swahili. Who knew? I had no idea there were blue monkeys on Mount Kilimanjaro. So the blue monkeys beside this one. And yeah, he just reminds me to lighten up, have fun, let it be easy. And this is such an important thing we all need to do, is just remember that life's actually to be enjoyed. And we've got to find ways to just lighten up, and how to integrate money and all of these other components into our life so that they support us, not suppress us. And that's a key part of that message. Great. Carol said, I've recently returned to the UK and can buy back national insurance towards pension. I see it better to use a... Carol, I'm not sure what happened to the rest of your question. I see it better to use a... Now, Carol, since you've just gone back to the UK, I would question about buying additional state pension, because this is the thing. You can actually really learn how to get your money working hard for you in a really empowered way. You can use things like an ISA and a self-invested personal pension, where you've got a lot more freedom and where you can actually get your money working way harder. Remember, in your national pension or state pension, you've got no choice in what that money's actually invested in. So, do the numbers, really see what kind of return you're actually getting on money by buying back that national insurance, and would that money be better spent getting assets that you can control, that you can manage, that you can get working harder for you. And this is how we start becoming really savvy with money and go, I can actually get it working a lot harder than some TV dinner pension product or elsewhere. That is why the wealthy are wealthy, because they understand that the TV dinner, the prepackaged approach, actually doesn't make anybody, except the people that sold you those things, rich. Okay, so Liz has said, when is the next enrollment if you're not able to join Financial Freedom University now? Well, the next enrollment is going to be in August. But please know this, Liz, the price is going up in August. Now, the enrollment right now is the same as it's been for the last 2 years. And so in August, it is going to be going up. So I would really encourage you to jump on board now. And here's the thing, those 6 months is going to make a big difference in your life. So do what you can and come on in. Cool. Okay, so Melissa has asked, if Financial Freedom University, do we teach about trading and tracking investments so that you can ditch the fund manager? I don't want to do much financial training, and I don't want that to hold you back. Absolutely, Melissa, this is the whole point. So when in whole of Module 6, we cover stock market investing, whether that's in retirement funding, pensions, superannuations, whatever country you're in. We look at stock market investing in these different tax-efficient pots. So be it a pension pot, be it a tax efficient like an ISA, tax-free savings account, Roth, etc. in different countries, and in discretionary pots. So that's the essence of that. Then we look into how to do it cost effectively and in the most efficient way. So absolutely, you're not paying fund managers and brokers and financial advisors, but that as much of your money as you possibly can works for you directly in investments and not in all these other fees, which are so wrapped around all of these actively managed funds, and why less than 88%, well, fewer than 12%, so more than 88% of actively managed funds fail to meet just the market return. And so this is exactly what you learn in Module 6. So we go through exactly what index trackers are, what passive investments are, why they're so cool, which is exactly this. It allows you to ditch that fund manager, that broker, so you're not paying that additional cost. This 1-2% that many people are giving away, and it might just sound like 1 or 2%, but when we truly understand compounding and money, we understand that that 1 or 2% actually ends up being 70% of the value of the fund down the line. Now, up front, right now, if you knew you were going into a deal with somebody where you put all the money in, when you put all the risk in, where you had to manage it all, and at the end of a period of time, you had to give this other person 70% of the business, would you really enter into that deal? But this is what most people are doing every day when they are entering into investments through financial advisors and these TV dinner or these pre-packaged active managed funds, where there are these 1 or 2% trading commissions to advisors, as well as additional costs that are literally robbing them of their freedom because we don't understand this compounding truly. So Melissa, that's exactly what we do in Financial Freedom University. But even better is that you don't have to have, this is the whole point, it's to stop holding you back. You don't need vast amounts of financial training, because it's pretty straightforward when you really get to see what passive investing, what index tracker investing is about. And then there's enough skill and there's enough training to be able to put your portfolio together, but also really importantly, how to put your investing onto autopilot so it happens automatically so that you can get on and live your life. Because as we know, you don't have additional time. This is not about wanting to create another job. And this is what's so important about creating your wealth in a way that if it's into your life, doesn't just create another burden on it. Carol, what about if you're in France? We've got many FFUs in France. So if you're in France, there aren't that many tax efficient vehicles for you investing, but that shouldn't stop you whatsoever to provide great access to low cost index trackers. There are also, very many different strategies depending if you're wanting to invest in property. The great thing is, online businesses, passive income businesses, you can create anywhere in the world. So it doesn't matter whether you're in France or Spain or Finland or Australia or New Zealand or Chile, as one of our FFUs is, or in the US or in Canada. So absolutely, you can, how you invest, whether you're in France, in Germany, in Holland, we've got a lot of Dutch FFUs. So great resources there for European-based stockbrokers. Okay, so listeners, I've got a lot of blocks about ethical investing and money in general. Will FFU be able to help me overcome my fears around banks and big corporates being the bad guys? Thank you so much for raising this, Liz, because it's really an important topic. And, so much of the financial industry has served and fueled, I think, so much of what is really crippling in our world. I think they've been allowed to get away with horrific things, not just to our environment and to different nations, but also to individuals. It's a large part of that financial industry has fed itself on and relied on people's fear and ignorance. And, I don't want to get into all conspiracy theory or sound like a complete sort of, extremist on the side, but thank you for raising that question, because I think it is very important for us to be aware of it, and why I believe it's so important that more of us who truly do understand the importance that there is that there is a way to live abundantly and wealthily without this voracious consumption without needing to destroy huge amounts of our environment and resources. But there actually is enough. If we just approach our world from a place of enoughness, instead of this desperate depletion of not enoughness, of always feeling that we need more just to try and fill ourselves. And this is where ethical investing also comes in place. So we'll show you how to read a fund fact sheet so you can see exactly where the money is going, how to put a portfolio together of funds that are called ethical funds. But more importantly, instead of just trusting that something is an ethical fund because they say it is, how to actually read the side of the tin to see what are those ingredients in that investment. And so you can really choose what is ethical for you, because your ethical investing or your value-based investing might be something different from somebody else's. You know, you mentioned the big corporates or the banks. Maybe for somebody else it's mining. Maybe somebody else wants to really invest in things like green technology, in companies like Tesla and those and so forth that are looking at finding alternative power supplies. So this is absolutely key. And I think, Liz, it's really, really important that we learn how to no longer be held back by this issue of not wanting to give money to the bad guys, but actually learning, well, how do we invest? How do we direct that money in a way that expands and brings us more power, so more money can be directed to the things that expand and contribute to a better future rather than contracting it. Because the challenge is I see so many amazing, big-hearted people with huge consciences, people that really believe in a better world, not getting to grips and not getting more in touch with their money stuff, not learning how to master it, not learning how to bring more of it in their life. And so they don't have this one of these key elements, one of these key energy forces in this world on their side. And, you know, so it's really disempowering when there's this disparity of power. So I think if we can bring more money power to conscious people, we're going to make a big difference in this world. Wow, wow, wow. I'm just seeing the time. And I just want to acknowledge so many of you for still being online. Melody says, sorry, I've missed most of the webinar due to connection problems, but what I did here was amazing. Well, thank you, Melody, for being on. And yeah, we'll send you some encore so that you can get the rest. Galen said, it's been amazing. Thank you. Bedtime, folks. Thanks for all. Welcome, Cheryl, to FFU. So glad to have you on board. Welcome, Monique. This is so, so great to have you. Glenn said, love the kitty. Yes. You know, because this is the thing. You know, I think if you're looking for somebody seriously all bling and it's going to show you, you know, the plastic life and, you know, I love yachts, I love beautiful things, but, you know, this is me. This is my home. This is my cat. This is my blue monkey. Even Cara, my dog, is lying down there because money, our financial well-being is part of our everyday life. This is it. So thank you for, you know, being okay with me being just every day. And I think that is what makes Financial Freedom University so powerful. I think that's what makes so many of the FFUers so, you know, what they're creating so sustainable, because it's not about some sort of quick adrenaline rush or trying to look wealthy. It's really about being wealthy in the full way. Okie dokie. Nicole, so just joined. I'm so grateful. Well, welcome on board. And you've just discovered me today. The time was perfect. Well, welcome on board. I can't wait to get to know you better and your circumstance and the details. Cool, cool, cool. So, Kumba, you've said, how long does it take to create your net worth? Well, this is the great thing. You can choose how long you want to take this journey. Because remember, there are just 3 levers. There's the amount of money you put in as your seed money. There's the amount of time that you've got, one, for your investments to grow, but also the amount of time that you've got to invest in yourself, invest in your learning, invest in creating these assets. And then there's the rate of return, how hard you get your assets working. So any of those levers, the more you can put in of those 3, the faster you're going to create your freedom, the net worth that you need. So if you can put more money in, if you can get the money in and have it in for more time in the market and earning a high rate of return. Plus, if you can invest more time of you into learning leverage strategies, getting your portfolios in place, how to do no money down deals, how to put a property investment deal together to bring investors in, and all of these things, then that's going to enable you to do it quicker. And the higher the rate of return you can do because of that additional knowledge and training and the support you get, that's going to get you much quicker. But the thing is, I want to say the more important to me is ensuring that however long it takes for you to create that freedom, is that you feel the freedom on the way, because you know you've got a plan, because you can see it working. And so here's the thing, when you can feel something working, when you know it's working, you can actually relax about this rush to get it done, because you're already living life. Because remember, we said life is just about all these moments of time added together and making sure more of those moments are juicy and worthy of your life force. And so when you're able to do that while you're creating your financial freedom, then there's less of this urgency to tick it off, because we let go of this belief that life is only going to start once you've done this. You realize your life is now. And that is why it's so important that you start now, that you get it done now. So great question there. So Yvonne said, I'll definitely do that. Tap on that. Brilliant. Get that tapping going. Cool. Well, okay. So Katrina said, how much would you suggest is a healthy start to invest in the tracker? So Katrina, the great thing with index trackers is you can start from $25. Well, about $30, 25 pounds, 300 South African rands, about 40 euros, about 25 to 50 Australian dollars, depending on the different fund. And so this is what's so great. You can actually put together a great portfolio of 3 or 4 index trackers. That's all you need to have a really great, diverse, balanced, safe, and very effective portfolio. As I say, with starting with 1,000 rand, but you can actually start with one, with just $25, because here's the thing, that healthiness starts by creating a wealthy habit. And the wealthy habit is realizing that there is enough. So even if it's $25, just that action of going, there is enough, I can put this in, and you start experiencing what it feels like to actually start creating assets. You get over the fear and the anxiety and the worry from that amount. This is what creates the healthy habit. This is what creates the momentum, and this is what creates the confidence. And so you do that, and then you realize, oh, okay, while I'm doing this, gee, I'm feeling more confident. Gee, I can see that actually there is enough. Wow, I'm able to free up more. But your money is now already working for you, because it's time in the market that counts more than how much money or anything else. Yes, you've got to look at adding more as you go, but that's the start. Just get started. Get started from that 300 rand, from that $25, from that 25 pounds, from that 40 euros. That's what's important. And then let that grow. A great question. Well, everybody, it is so great to have you all here. Thank you for being on this amazing call. Thank you so many of you still being here. But it looks like pretty much there aren't too many questions. Liz, yay, you've joined. So welcome on board. So great. Can't wait to meet you in the group and get you started. So Lucy said, do I recommend people don't use financial advisors or brokers? Well, my ultimate goal is for you to feel that you're not going to need to use them, because you're going to realize that the knowledge and the skills needed to be great with money you can have them. You will have them. You will know how to put your own portfolio together, how to make those decisions. And by doing so, you're going to save a lot of money, and that money in turn gets to work for you and therefore accelerate your time to freedom. Now, if you do still choose to use a financial advisor, what you will know is exactly what questions to ask them. So you can ensure that you really are getting that value for money, that you are no longer just hoping that they have your best interest at heart, that you're hoping that what they're putting together is the right thing. Now, you know, I really get that that can sound very scary, because in order to get to that place, it needs us to truly believe that we are capable of doing this. But there's a counterside to that coin. It's knowing like, oh my God, I'm then fully responsible for my financial freedom. But here's the thing, you are already the only one who is responsible for your financial well-being. Even if you're in a relationship, your partner is not responsible for your financial well-being. Each of us, it comes back to us. And so often we can kid ourselves of thinking, well, oh, my accountant or my financial advisor or my partner or my father or my husband or my, my wife or my kids, they're looking after that stuff for me. Nobody else can be responsible. So actually, even though it can feel scary to fully take that responsibility, because you go, oh my God, one of the fears and the universal fears and barriers we have is this worry that we'll get it wrong. And if we do, are we going to end up under a bridge living in a cardboard box? But know that that's just an echo. That's just a belief, because haven't been taught the stuff. But that's exactly what Financial Freedom University is about. You do get taught it. You do get the knowledge of skill, so that you can really understand that not only are you the only one who's responsible for your financial well-being, but actually that you've got all the skills and the knowledge and the tools and the support to take that responsibility on with joy and abandonment and really enjoy it and going, woohoo, this is brilliant. So great. Mika said, thanks so much. I've learned so much coming here, and I'll start looking for where to invest and join us in Financial Freedom University. Well, I can't wait to see you in there. So Stairs said, cheers guys, catch you on the Welsh Trek Facebook. Yes. Okay, so everybody, where can I get your book? And great question. Okay, so you can get it from your Amazons, Barnes and Nobles, online, all of those great bookstores. You can get it in digital, Kindle, Nook, all of the digital forms, as well as in a physical hard copy form. Yeah, and Sheila said, yeah, and exclusive books in Cavendish, in Cape Town. Yeah, I'm not sure where you are, Deepa. And if you're really struggling to find, yeah, pop on over to the wellchefbook.com, and there's links for when you're in Australia, in the US, in the UK, South Africa, where to get that. And yeah, fantastic. I think, and so remember, you'll also get a great some training with the Welsh Chef book. So it's a great, so if you feel you're absolutely not ready for Financial Freedom University yet, the Welsh Chef book is a great place to start. So everybody, love you loads. Keep busting through those beliefs, really challenge those, know that there is spare money, there's plenty of time, and there's an infinite amount of support. If you just look for it, believe it, and let yourself have it. So get out there, live a rich, juicy life, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.